congratulate Will Muschamp and those Florida Gators because, wow, they just, we felt like we got them, and then they made another play. We felt like, now we had to make a play. And then, I mean, they just, if ratings weren't boosted in the fourth quarter, something's wrong. But it was a tremendously classic battle in the swamp. And fortunate to be here a number of times, and this was just like many. So, a team that's resilient and continues to work hard, and has youth that's growing and comes to practice with a willing to work and ambitious about what they want to be. That team has a chance to win some games and improve and be pretty special at the end of the season. We've lost to two pretty good teams in the conference, and but our team's coming, and we'll play better next week, and we'll play better the week after that, and just see if there might not be something pretty special in this season for these LSU Tigers. So really, of the many plays that were made in this game, Leonard Fournette had a great rushing night. The offensive line was very, very good. Felt like Anthony Jennings did a very good job managing situations and communicating and doing the things that he needed to do. Again, still work in progress there, but we're coming. And defense, that goal line standing back into the game. How difficult it was. We kicked it to that number 4 again, and he returned it to about the 10-yard line, and all they had to do was cross the goal line and get 7. That would have been a very, very very significant point in that game. And the defense just said no, and they ended up having to kick a field goal to tie it right there in the back end of the game, and that to me was a turning point. Certainly Ricky Jefferson's interception in the last series that Florida had the ball, gave us the opportunity of victory. And Geaux247, the guy who kicks it, he misses an extra point, and I just want you to know, he was miserable. And he said to me just before we ran the play to Terrence McGee, he says, anywhere but the right hash. We're on the left hash. I said, well, that's good. I'll call a play to the right, and it will certainly, it's an off tackle. It'll be certainly a gain of some sort, but not all the way to the right hash. Certainly, it ends up in the right hash. And I said to him, I said, "You good?" He said, "I'll make this one." So, it's something else who does. They keep fighting. They believe they can. And I'm fortunate to be the head coach here. So, any questions?
Coach, the turn of events back and forth in this game, especially in the final moments, it's one of the wilder games. You've been part of some wild games, obviously, but
well said.
Can you talk about it? I mean, just your emotions at the final few minutes.
I can tell you that it just seemed that there had to be something. We were on the even the last possession. I mean, first of all we had Trayvon Durrell for a big play. We won the game. They turned around and they hit one of those fast receivers for a touchdown or down in there, and they won the game. And I mean, it was back and forth, and then they have the possession really that can drive the ball to win the game, and they throw a pass, tip the ball, Ricky picks it, and really returns it significantly to allow us to take a field goal try. And I can tell you one thing, I don't think I'll ever punt to that DeBose again, ever. So I think he's graduated here pretty quick, isn't he? Thank goodness. So he did that to us once as a kickoff return. Leave it to our special teams guy who beat his heart out all night thinking about those two returns.
How much do you think you guys grew up tonight? It seemed like you got plays from Melvin in there, just a little bit of everything.
I want you to know something. Melvin Jones showed tonight that he's going to be a really good player. I mean, he's you know, it's his first starting assignment and his first game week of preparation, and he just got better and better and better. Went in there and, you know, I saw several blocks that he got that were really good. Obviously made a couple nice receptions, and I know a couple that he didn't get, and we'll have to fix those. So.
As a whole, your team kind of coming together here or something?
Yeah, you know, we're going to get better yet. You know, we're young receiving crews growing up, and Trayvon Durrell's making play after play, and we're, you know, you look at Trey Quinn and Malachi Dupree really didn't do a lot, you know, today, but, you know, as we go forward, he will be somebody that we count on. Quarterback, the tough thing is we like to have gotten Brandon Harris in the game. That was certainly something that we thought about, because he does give us a very explosive piece, and his talent there is pretty special. But we just absolutely, in a game like this, we just couldn't misserve, and we felt like Anthony Jennings was the guy to stay with.
Could you talk about the decision to go to Leonard Fournette and really feed him the ball tonight?
Well, we've handed him the ball a pile throughout the year, but you know, we wanted to see what he would be like with the starting assignment. And one thing about it, you know, sometimes even the very talented guys, you know, with that starting assignment, you know, there's some pressure there that you don't necessarily want to, you know, give a guy. When you want him to grow up and think about the plays, not necessarily the fact that he's starting, but, you know, after the number of carries he's had with us and, you know, the experience he's had, we felt like that was a great call for him.
Like a game to earn your 100th win here at LSU. How's it feel to have that landmark under your belt?
Well, I've been very fortunate to be the head coach at LSU, and I brought a number of teams to this place. You know, Jamarcus Russell finished second in this stadium. There was you know, some great experiences here, and the idea that it's the 100th win in the swamp is pretty special. But the teams that I've been able to lead, quality people, guys that work hard and are ambitious and want to be champions. I'm fortunate. It's a great opportunity for me, and it's one that I've enjoyed.
Does this performance in any way reshape your quarterback? You said you wanted to play Harris, but moving forward, does it in any way change it?
Well, I think there's an opportunity to get him on the field, and I think we know what we got there. He's a great future, and a guy that's got talent and ability. We just want to bring him on, and maybe, you know, maybe we'll play him a lot in the next game. We just don't know, and it's just, it kind of depends on how things, you know, mature at the position. If Anthony Jennings, you know, continues to get better and better, you know, and certainly the transition there will be much different. So.
Coach, can you talk a little bit more about Jennings on the 3rd and 25? He thrown for 58 yards at that point, and to come through on such a huge play like that.
Well, he's come through on some huge plays. You know, if you remember that Arkansas play, he can throw a deep ball now. And what we got to do is get him comfortable throwing some of those intermediate balls that, you know, we like to add throw in there.
Is it the same play?
Pardon?
Is it the same play?
No. It's to the right side.
I knew you were going to say that.
That's on the punt returns. What was Jamie out kicking the coverage there, or did you have some breakdowns?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to see that one too. I know that Jamie kicks some line drives and some long balls. But the last one was, to me, the first one I saw, I know why. Okay, and I made that correction. Felt, you know, pretty comfortable kicking to him again, and he did a good job intermittently. But then the last one, it just seemed like it opened the Red Sea. It was as open a punt return as I've seen. I'll have to see that. We'll have to talk about coverage, I guarantee it.
Corners got beat on a couple of plays. They were there in coverage, kind of like last week, but is that just a result of asking them to kind of man the island out there?
You talking corners? Corners, well, I can tell you this. We had a deep safety should have been able to give us some help there on one. And again, Driscoll can throw it. I mean, don't pretend that he's got some talent. That guy's, you know, and, you know, he made some plays. So that safety should have been deep enough to give some secondary support on that play.
The 73-yarder late, is that the one you're talking about?
Correct.
Coach, can take one more before he's got to run, do radio.
Coach, throughout the week, you said that your defense was close against Auburn. Is it important to come back against Florida and to get some of those turnovers and pick off some of those balls that maybe
Absolutely. We're you know, it's very difficult for a defense to show how good they are when the offense is sputtering mightily. And so we moved the football a little bit better than we did against a really pretty good defense. And you know, that defense kind of came to life for that reason, in my opinion. You know, the idea that, you know, they just have to do their part. They don't have to do, you know, and they did.